So at this time, I believe we have covered everything that we were expecting to cover. I want you to know that I think the virtual conference is going to be a one-of-a-kind event. I think it's the kind of thing that your students are going to enjoy. It's going to be much more than just going to a Zoom meeting. There'll be activities, lots of things for them to do. You still get your kids the opportunities that they've had in the past as far as sharing their work and being able to get it adjudicated and getting feedback from other people. So all of that is still a go. We're still making sure they have the opportunity for scholarships. If for those of you that do not know, I really want to make sure you understand, every person that works on the board is a volunteer. And most of them are in school just like you, trying to do virtual as well as in person. So I want to say a personal thank you to each of them for the amount of time that they give up so that everybody in the state can have these opportunities. I just want y'all to know how much I appreciate you, and I know all of our other troop directors in our chapter also appreciate all the work that the volunteers do. Again, if you're interested, remember, if you'd like to volunteer, Jan mentioned if you would just like to be a room proctor, we'll talk more about that as well. And you can contact her. She's volunteered to take that on. And so she can help with that. So please let us know. And if you'd like to volunteer to be in charge of events, that's what you're filling out for me for that, that form that's online. So does anybody have questions at this point? You can either unmute yourself or put it in the chat, and we'll hit those real quick before we dismiss.
I have a question, Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people are wondering about this with thespian points. Say you had a show that got 3/4 or even closer than that to production, but we never actually did the production. How are we handling thespian points for stuff like that?
I think as always, Gina, that falls back onto you personally. For me, I'd have no problems if you were doing it and your aspect, what your plan was to do the show, I'd count it. I think you should count all those kids and give them that opportunity. It's not their fault that COVID shut them down.
I agree.
I would say give them all those points. Now, if you didn't, especially if you've started rehearsals, that idea, not just something that was going to happen that nobody did any practice for, but if you've already practiced it, like we basically were like a week away from our show, 2 weeks, and those kids should all get their points. So,
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Paul, there was a question submitted. Says they don't know if this was addressed, but what about wearing masks for show screenings?
Sarah and Mira, do you have a comment?
We're perfectly all right with that. We understand that we're in a pandemic and that different schools have different ways that they can do things. All our activities so far at my school, the kids have been wearing the masks and we're going that way. But whatever your school has, we're not looking at it as a negative. We accept our given circumstances.
Okay. Does anyone else?
I would try to be as creative as possible. When you can use separation, when you can use clear masks as well as often as possible with distance, just because it'll be easier to see the things that people will, from an adjudication standpoint. It's kind of hard to see everything through eyes, but it is what it is.
I did want to
make the best of it.
Sorry, I did want to mention for just a second, for IEs, I said we really prefer no mask, but again, if there's not glare, then if you needed to do, like you mentioned, Paul, the clear, and you could still hear everything clearly, I'm sure that would be okay. They're just requesting not a full mask where they can't see people's lips and mouths.
Okay. I see the question from Rob. What are the exact hours? Rob, we do have a schedule that we have been using as a draft for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we're still kind of working on that. We should be able to have that schedule up soon. I'll try to make sure it gets posted I don't want to say a date by. We have a schedule, but part of that is changing as things are changing. So to be perfectly honest with you, but we can put up at least a draft and show you what we're hoping to do at this time.
Okay. Eric addressed Lily's comment. I see no further questions as of yet.
Hey, sorry to interrupt and go full video, but I thought this may be too long to put in the chat. So on the group submissions for Allstate, it says that the group submissions are going to be chosen based on the theme of the Allstate show. Do we have any clarification on that? Like, what should we be aiming for? Anything like that as we're going forward with that or trying to submit that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll jump on that. There are, if you go to the website, there are 4 songs that you can choose from. Have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
Okay, so your group and everybody that's in the video has to be a thespian. You can wear masks or not wear masks. It's your choice. And we might get 5 different versions of Seize the Day. I'm not going to use all 5. I'm going to select one of those kind of things. And so it doesn't have to be done exactly like it would be done exactly from the musical. If you want a guy singing a girl's part, that's fine. If you want to take a totally different concept, that's fine. It's kind of an outside of the box idea. They just have to wear all black. And that's kind of it. Did that answer your question or?
Yeah, I was just saying, it's just that, for say my kids do a great job, which is fine. I was just trying to see, kind of what you might be looking for, just for all of us, like what, is there a direction we should be going in as far as theme wise or anything like that?
Well, the whole concept for the opening is for students and what this type of learning and this pandemic has made them do. And so each of those is representing someone that is inspired to help others, someone who has inspiration to learn new things, someone who's feeling lonely, someone's, that type of thing, someone that wants to do some advocacy. So whatever you do will be spectacular, and we'll choose whichever one we feel like works. I don't, that's just really all I can give as far as that.
I understand. Okay, no, that actually helps a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay.
There's another question regarding Allstate. How and when should we or students expect notification about audition feedback?
Are they speaking about the individual feedback that's due tonight?
It's not specified.
If that's, our goal is we're gonna watch them tomorrow, and within, it says 10 days on the paperwork, but we're gonna try to do it within the next 2 days. They'll get feedback through their email, and then they will get specific information that says you've been selected to participate in this aspect. Here are the details, or you will receive details in a few more days, but they should, within the week, get notification saying you've been selected, thumbs up. Here's the other information, or please wait a few more days for that information. Okay.
Yeah. There's a question about duo events. Cece, I'm assuming this is to you. Can it be recorded through Zoom?
Interesting. They'd have to, I guess if they, yeah, I guess so. They didn't stipulate I didn't see, when I adjudicated the summer with ITF, I did not see any done in that format. So again, I will put that on my list to clarify. And when I get this information and put it back and we share the link, I'll have that answer for you. I apologize. Some of this stuff is so new, guys. And even EDTA is having to go through and reformat and reconstruct. So I'll check that. Thank you.
And there was a question, Paul, about the schedule. What are the
thank you. Hang on to that just for a second. Well, I'll tell you what, Richard, are you ready? Richard's going to go ahead and share his screen. This is our draft. Please, everybody, it's a draft. It's a draft. We're looking at starting at 5 and then have workshop sessions and shows. There will also be other things that will be going on throughout. Keep in mind, we don't have to have the same exact schedule we've had in the past because the overlapping aspect isn't as a priority. You'll be able to have time to go in and look at different things. We'll have workshop sessions opened at certain times, especially if anything is live or that's time sensitive. We will still do things like showcases, and we'll still have times in. Right now, like I said, we're looking at starting at 5 and going to 9. Is the last show at 9? Richard, is that when it starts?
Yes, the last show starts at 9, so we would actually be done at 10.
At 10.
Yes, so same thing on Saturday. The IE showcase would start at 4, so it'd be done at around
Those are
5.
the start times, y'all.
Yes.
And please, I hope y'all all understand, we're putting, as they say, we're putting the plane together in midair. So we're trying to make sure that we have it all ready. I think our board has done an incredible job to get it to this stage. Like I said, I'm so proud of all of them and the work that they've done and that they continue to do for all of us. But thank you, Richard. I think that answers their questions about what the general schedule will be. We'll also look at this. I've heard some of you had some other ideas about the schedule. If you'd like to shoot me those, I'll be happy to look and reconsider to see if some things could be available for those of you that can let your kids maybe meet in the theater during the day, call it part of the experience. Let us work on that and give us a little bit of time to maybe open up some events, pre-recorded events, workshops, maybe a little earlier if you want to get out of, if that'll help you get out of class. I'm with you. I just know that when we originally started, the idea was that people were telling us that their principals had already said no one's leaving and all field trips, virtual or not, were not going to take place during school. So that was the format we were on at the time 2 months ago. And beginning of August, that's when we started doing these things. Okay. So as it changed, it makes it a little difficult, and we can go with the flow a little bit. I think this format worked out really great. I know it's been a long time for those of you that were starting at 9 with the new troops to where we are now. We've got a lot of information covered, and I think you can see all the great things that are being offered to your students. And hope you will let us know if there's anything else we can do. Just please, I ask, because we've already gotten some emails, keep in mind, we're all volunteering and we're all trying to do the best that we can. And so if we tell you that there are issues, it really isn't that we're happy about having to tell you that there are issues. It's just, this is what we can do during this time frame and what we can get done for you. So please understand, if we have to say no to some things, it's just because there's like y'all, there's only so much time in a day that we can do things. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Paul, so far the questions that have been asked have been directly answered in the chat by the people that they pertain to.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to call this a wrap. Thank you to everybody for all their hard work. If I can get the board, both the junior festival board and the high school festival board, can y'all stay on just for another minute so I can run something by y'all as we say goodbye to all of our friends?
Paul?
Yes.
Paul, I need to interrupt. As one of the old people in this whole thing, been around for 100 years, there's a lot of messages coming in, but I think this needs to be said out loud. I could not even fathom doing what you people done. You board members are amazing. You guys do an opening number. I did it for 4 years. No way could I do what you're doing. All of us appreciate you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, but mostly thank you for our kids. Thank you again, board.
Thank you, Gina.
You.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.